Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express, focusing on how Hercule Poirot unravels the mystery. The story begins with Hercule Poirot, the famous Belgian detective, boarding the luxurious Orient Express train in Istanbul. He plans to travel to Calais and then to London. On the journey, Poirot is recognized by his old friend, Monsieur Bouc, who is a director of the Compagnie Internationale des Wagons-Lits. Bouc arranged for Poirot to have a first-class compartment on the train. During the journey, the train gets stuck in heavy snow near Vinkovci, Croatia. One night, an American businessman named Samuel Ratchet approaches Poirot, seeking his services as a bodyguard. Ratchet reveals that he has been receiving threatening letters and fears for his life. Poirot declines the offer, sensing something suspicious about Ratchet. The next morning, Ratchet is found dead in his compartment, stabbed multiple times. Poirot and Bouc are called upon to investigate the murder, as the train is isolated due to the snowstorm. Poirot begins by interviewing the passengers and examining the crime scene. He discovers a number of clues: a handkerchief with the initial H near the body, a burnt piece of paper with the name Armstrong on it, a watch that doesn't belong to Ratchet. Poirot learns from the passengers that Ratchet was actually a notorious gangster named Cassetti, who was responsible for the kidnapping and murder of Daisy Armstrong, a little girl in the United States. The Armstrong family tragedy had caused widespread public outrage and led to the suicides of the child's parents and the miscarriage of her pregnant mother. Poirot realizes that every passenger in the train had a connection to the Armstrong family. Mrs. Hubbard, a wealthy American woman, turns out to be Linda Arden, Daisy Armstrong's grandmother. Hector McQueen had been the Armstrong family lawyer. Edward Masterman, the valet, had worked for the Armstrongs. Colonel Arbuthnot, a British officer, had been a friend of Colonel Armstrong. Princess Dragomirov, an elderly Russian aristocrat, had been close to Mrs. Armstrong. Each passenger has a motive for wanting Cassetti dead, seeking justice for the Armstrong family. Through careful deduction and interviews, Poirot gathers enough evidence to piece together the truth. He discovers that the murder was not committed by a stranger, but was a collective effort by the passengers on the train. They had all decided to take justice into their own hands and punish Cassetti for his crimes against Daisy Armstrong. Poirot presents two solutions to Bouc and Dr. Constantine, the train's doctor and a fellow investigator. 1. The first solution implicates a mysterious stranger who boarded the train, committed the murder, and escaped unnoticed. 2. The second solution, which Poirot favors, reveals the truth, that all the passengers were involved in the murder. In the end, the police authorities agree to accept the first solution to protect the passengers from legal consequences. Poirot, satisfied with the moral complexities of the case, leaves the train and returns to London. Murder on the Orient Express is celebrated for its intricate plot, moral dilemmas, and the revelation of justice in a complex world.